Brian, when you look at this season, kind of a season of transition, you end up making the trades you make. You have that spurt. You guys are alive deep into September. You win 84 games. All that being said, how do you evaluate the performance on the field and what this team did?
It was a series of twists and turns on this year. We obviously had high hopes, early, from the wintertime. Thought we improved on last year's postseason roster. But that's not how it played out. And, we were faced to make a difficult decision. I felt the right decision in the summertime to go ahead and, make some strategic decisions for the present and the future. Those only happen if we felt that we were going to, obtain significant, value back in those trades, and we feel we did. Spend the rest of the second half, still competing, but providing, growth opportunities for a lot of young players that are, hopefully going to be an important part of our future, and start that process in 2016 rather than delay it for, competition and spring training of 2017. So it was a mixed bag. It was, very frustrating and difficult process in the first 3 months of the season, and then I think it was a very exciting dynamic that transpired in the final 3 months of the season. Ultimately, when the dust settles, when it's all said and done, the 2016 season did not, achieve the goal that we stated, which was first and foremost making the playoffs and trying to compete for a world championship in October. But I do believe, we learned a lot more about, what we have, what we don't have, and again, made some very strategic decisions to try to, based on those evaluations, put this franchise in a better position to legitimately compete for a world championship as we move forward. And for that, I think, we took very important steps, at the last portion of July, and hopefully that'll catapult us as we move forward.
Dan and Chad?
What do you think you don't have?
Well, listen, we're going to need still a lot of things. There's more work to be done. We have, a team that, I think offensively is still a work in progress, and it's, we were very inconsistent with runs scored. It was odd that was not dynamic given where we were the previous year, and it's going to be a hard thing, I think, to improve upon. At least forcing something outside to transpire, whether it's free agency or a trade, because we have a lot of pieces in place that more likely will remain in place. And so therefore, I think a lot of the opportunities for better run production is going to come from improved results on runners in scoring position. It's going to be coming from improved play from positions coming from the younger guys coming up through the system and who had a chance to get their sea legs under them this year, and now being able to hopefully solidify a position moving forward and provide more consistent production from those positions than we got in 2016. So you'll have some competitions taking place mostly in right field and in first base, with the return of hopefully a healthy Greg Bird, in combination with Tyler Austin at first base, and then seeing how, as we presently are constituted, how a competition in right field with Judge, Austin, Ref Snyder, Hicks, not in any order, how that transpires, and then hoping that the rest of the roster remains in play and healthy, and that's obviously not, ruling out any opportunity to potentially make some trades, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out.
Chad and Brendan.
Cash, how do you approach first and right field? Those are the two positions that it seems like the free agent market actually has some depth to, but also you're kind of in an odd spot of you have some guys, but none of them are particularly proven there. How do you look at those as being filled already, or do you look at those as opportunities to upgrade?
I think they're going to be looked at. There's certainly areas of question that we hope get answered from within, and more likely that's the way we're going to go. We're going to have our pro scouting meetings. It'll start here in a few weeks. We'll evaluate, what's available in the free agent market. We'll evaluate over time what starts to become available in the trade market. But I think there will be, some hesitancy to, forego giving, the kids a chance to take it, and certainly that, can create, some problems if they don't. But I think that's at least in the beginning of this winter, without having, advance notice on what becomes available and what gets presented to you, in various concepts. I would say that would be the way that, we'd like to approach this going into spring training of next year, and let the kids get a shot at it. And but I'm not going. That doesn't preclude me from being open-minded to any and all opportunities that present themselves. And as they do, I'll make sure that, as I always do, talk to ownership and collectively a decision gets made.
Kind of along the same lines, do you feel like you need to look outside the organization for starting pitching?
Yeah, I mean, the pitching is a different matter. Offense was without question this season's problem. More so than anything else. And we can certainly look at other areas of weakness. Our middle relief was a problem. Starting rotation, is an area that, as you map, compare us to some other teams or many other teams, we're not as deep as we wanted to be, or as productive as we wanted to be, or even healthy as we wanted to be. But that notwithstanding, we finished first in QERA. We finished, in the top ranking in strikeouts per 9. I think we're fourth in walks per 9. And, so somehow there's a lot of areas that we were able to put some real positive impact on our overall pitching staff, but the pitching is an area of need. So starting pitching, middle relief, setup, those are going to be certainly, it's almost half your roster, and you'll have to fortify, and we'll try to do that again, Exhibit A is what we did last winter, when we moved to Justin Wilson for Sessa and Green. And, again, the more the merrier. If we can find more, we have guys coming through our system. Some guys didn't solidify themselves, like Severino this year, but he's still young. But we have other guys, pushing their way in the mix, and see what they look like in spring training, whether they're guys that are young that you saw in September, or other guys that, are AA pushing their way into AAA that you'll see in Major League Camp. We'll see where, some of that depth comes from. But, yeah, we're going to certainly have to look for opportunities that present themselves on the pitching market.